Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Titans live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. Oh man, do you know what? We're doing the second numero duo, second part of the actual show, and we're going to actually focus it on the mystery system. Why are we going to focus on the mystery system? Because my good brother Zeriab actually asked a question about the mystery system on the last show. If you haven't checked out the last show, please go ahead and check out the last show. The last show was actually entitled "Is Kemet the Black Man's Religion? Pan-Africanism?" In there, we actually set forth the definition of Kemet. We went through from the hieroglyphic understanding, or the Medo-Neter, or the Kemetic understanding or definition of what Kemet actually is, all the way into the Hebraic understanding of Ham, and then we also went into the Islamic or the Arabic understanding of Ham as well, and then we also touched upon the modern Copts and how they viewed Kemi or Kam itself as well. So we went all the way through, went all the way around full circle to fully comprehend the meaning of Kemet, and we discussed the landmass, the ethnography of the people, and we also discussed the culture as well as its philosophy system. But now in round two, in numero two, we're going to actually go into the mystery system, and we're going to touch upon a few things. I know Zeriab has a pre-question, a question that's related to the last question. So go ahead, Zeriab, jump in and let me hear.
So yeah, it was off the back of what Moorish Dawa was talking about, especially in regards to the culture that a lot of religious folk seem to be taken from their religions, and especially within the Islamic tradition, what we find, whether it's Caribbean, new Muslims, people who become Muslims, they oftentimes take on the culture of Saudi Arabia, and if they become Shia, then they take on the culture of Shiism. And so, or Iran, for example. So like, you'll see that in the garb that they wear even, and it'll be raining, but yet the men are wearing thobes, or they're wearing long thobes like they're in the desert. And so for me, that point about Moorish Dawa makes about African people, or people from African stock, unfortunately, especially in the diaspora, who are disconnected from their origin, disconnected from their culture. They seem to take on the culture of the predominant culture in their religion. But the beautiful thing about Islam, for example, is that, and you see it right across the Islamic world, is that you have this concept called urf or custom. So it's the custom in Malaysia or Indonesia, one of the most populous Muslim countries in the world, to have really bright colored headscarves. You feel me? Whereas in the Middle East, it's all black on black for women. But that's just a customary thing, and it's their culture in Southeast Asia to be all colorful and bright and whatnot. And for example, in West Africa, to do the same thing and be colorful and bright and rare. And there's local varieties, which has to be accepted. But unfortunately, if you're disconnected from your culture, then you're just going to take the predominant one. And the reality is, the Saudi Propagation Ministry has billions at its disposal. And so people go to the seminaries over there, learn, and they come back and they're wearing their thobes and they got garms like over their ankles and whatnot. And it's like, it's all well intentioned, but at the end of the day, it's coming from a lack. It's coming from a lack of culture. And so you take on someone else's culture, which is a very sad state of affairs.
Very sad, very sad. So this is what I'm going to do. Family, please hit the like button, share it with a friend. We're actually going to go into some very deep information. Hopefully, we're going to not be here for too much longer, okay? Not here too much longer, but we're going to jump into some very deep information. Also, I wanted to shout out my brother Ty. Okay, my brother Ty, that's H-I-T, my Hebrew Israelite Ty right now. He's actually live in the mix inside of the chat section. So family, please shout out my brother Ty in the mix right about now. Also, I actually want him to come onto the show. So brother Ty, let us know if you're available to come onto the show so I can send you the link, and then hopefully you can join in. But unfortunately, it's actually filled right now. 10 people are actually here with us, but for you, I know one of the brothers will jump out and let you come in and share your wisdom with us. But yeah, let's actually get into this. We're going to jump into the mystery system. So I don't know if everybody's got the information at hand, but I'm going to do this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to allow Zeriab to actually re-ask the question, and then let us get it in. Let's get it in, baby. Let's get it in.
All right. So the question was, what are the mysteries when we discuss the mystery schools? Given that Kemet is the earliest mystery school, predating the Eleusinian mysteries and Mithraism and any other mystery school, what were the mysteries that the priests were dealing with? Was it something that is beyond matter, or was it something that is within our universe and is observable? Is it something to do with observable nature?
Ooh, them big questions there, you know. So who wants to take a first hack at it? Let me know. Or is it just gonna be me? Somebody free up my load.
Yeah.
As a Moorish American brother, you know what I'm saying, and following the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, we actually embrace the teachings of Kemet very much so, and we actually have a chapter entitled Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa, right? And in that literature, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, there's actually a chapter where Jesus actually goes to the initiate system in Egypt, right? But bottom line, we pull out a concept of knowing thyself and knowing God through knowing the self.
That's real. That's real. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to touch on that concept in a hot second. First, I just want to just do this. I actually wanted to bring this up. This is like a quick, quickly just bringing this up. It's called Sacred Mysteries on Wikipedia. The funny thing is, the word mysteries is actually a Greek word, mystere. And then sacred, sacre, is actually a Latin word, but they literally mean the same thing. Both of these words actually mean the same thing, so it's very funny. But anyways, let me not digress any further. So over here it says sacred mysteries are the areas of supernatural phenomena associated with divinity or religious ideology. Sacred mysteries may be either religious beliefs, rituals, or practices which are kept secret from non-believers or low levels of believers who have not had an initiation into the higher levels of belief. The concealed knowledge may be called esoteric. Secondly, beliefs of the religion which are public knowledge but cannot be easily explained by normal, rational, or scientific means. Or the term mystery is not often used in anthropology, except by initiation or rite passage to otherwise secret beliefs is an extremely common feature of indigenous religions all over the world. Okay, last bit here I'm going to read. It says here, mysticism may be defined as an area of philosophical or religious thought which focuses on mysteries in the first sense above. Oopsies. That's good. A mystagogue or hierophant is a holder and teacher of secret knowledge in the second sense above. Excellent. So we can see here in Christianity, we have all of these mystery stuffs, and other religions as well, and other philosophy systems have something called a mystery system as well. So we in Kemet, you talked about, we have a mystery school. All right, let me do this. We never called our schools mystery schools itself. We never did call it that. We had temples, as already stated, were places of learning. We actually had something called a parank, which is literally a temple, but it's literally a scriptorium, or literally a place where initiations actually took place. Okay, it's an initiations where actual initiations took place. We actually called it another word of actually calling it is kind of like what all initiations have. They go through the caverns, the caves. They go through the caves. They have a process of going through the caves, okay, where they get all the learning and their teachings. And it has nothing to do with religion as such, but there are rituals that take place. There are secret information that is being learned. There is open information that is also being learned as well. And let us actually jump into this. Let's actually jump into this, because when you become somebody, let me do it like this. When you enter the educational system of Kemet, you have been given the title of two things. One of two things. You're either being called a merech, literally means to love, okay? And then rech means knowledge or wisdom, okay? Knowledge or wisdom. And it's the equivalent is philosophy. You become a philosopher, a person who loves wisdom. Okay, philo or philo literally means to love, and Sophie or Sophia literally means wisdom yet again. So you now become a philosopher. Every person who becomes or comes into the educational school of Kemet, okay, you become a philosopher. Another word that's been utilized for you, okay, which we find in certain schools of thought is Sabah. a Siba or Seba. Okay, Seba is a teacher. Siba is actually a student as well, and it's all denoting, it denotes literally a student or a teacher or teachings itself, a person who is embodying a particular amount of teachings. Where does the word actually stem from? It's actually stemming from two words. Okay, the root word is ba, and ba means what? Let me see. Those of you guys who know, what does ba mean in the Kemetic language?
Spirit.
So
There you go. So, okay, ba. And then you have the prefix. The prefix, okay, is sa or se. And it literally means, it's like, for example, let me see. Ziryab, you know this. Ziryab, you know this. If I put a T in front of any Arabic word, what does it mean? What does it mean?
Give me an example.
So, that's a very good one. Salam, and then I put a T in front of the word salam.
It becomes
Nah,
it
that's a
becomes
very
a
poor one.
doing it becomes a doing word.
Yes, it becomes a verb. So it's a verb. So, so what does it mean? So, for example, the T and the S is actually interchangeable within inside of the Kemetic school of thought with the Arabic T. So the T in Arabic becomes an S within inside of Kemet. So when we're saying sabah, it's a verb, it's a causation. We're causing the ba, we're causing the soul to do what? It's actually causation of the soul. Meaning in this sense is kind of like what we have in Latin, educare, to literally draw out things out of your soul, to draw out the information. A lot of us, we as Kemetic people or Kemtu, we're literally called the eye of Ra, or we were birthed out of the eye of Ra, meaning we were birthed out of his knowledge, or the knowledge. All the knowledge are actually within inside of us. If you learn in the Platonic school of thought, Plato speaks of Socrates as actually being what is he? He's like a midwife, basically. He's here to help you in the process of actually delivering information or delivering knowledge. All knowledge is actually inside of us, and all we're simply doing is giving you the tools to cause that knowledge to come out of you. You have the ability to learn all of these things around you, but you also have the information within inside of your soul. And inside of the Kemetic school of thought, we're helping you to draw out that information or draw out your soul. We're helping you to make your soul flourish, or helping your mind to flourish, helping your power, your potential to actually come out, to become a living ba, a person who can allow their soul to fly anywhere it chooses to. Literally, it flies anywhere it chooses to be once you're actually cultivated. Now, with inside of the so-called mystery school, which we call the Per Ankh, we learn something called Gnosis. And that Gnosis is equivalent to the Arabic word, since I've got my Muslim brother who actually asked this question. That is equivalent to the word ilm, okay? Knowledge, or science itself, okay? Is equivalent to the word knowledge or science, or to seek knowledge, okay? Which is literally science, which is sciencere, which is to get knowledge, or to find knowledge, or to cause knowledge to come into existence, okay? Now, what we do inside of the Par Ankh, we deal with usually three questions. Let me know, my brothers, what is the three questions that we do with in terms of knowledge? Know thy somebody, anybody help me out.
Yeah, no, that's
Know
so.
thyself. What's the second one? Second one is
No, the gods. No. Nature.
jeez. All right. It's called know the mysteries of the universe. And then the third one is you will know God. Okay. So technically speaking, there is this mystery word within inside of the Kemetic school of thought. That mystery word is actually called shedu or shedau, which literally means that which is hidden, or that which is a mystery. And what that literally means is there is things that are apparent. Okay, there's things that are literally apparent within inside of nature that we can see. Our universe, we can actually see, but we don't simply, like every scientist, don't want to just simply go by what is apparent. If I ask you what is the color of the wall, you're going to tell me, oh, it's white. And you're going to be like, no, hold on 1 second. No, it's not white. It's actually the paint on the wall that is producing the color of white. And the only reason why it's white is because of the reflection or the light that's illuminating the wall that's causing it to reflect into our eyes, that's causing the white reflection. But otherwise, if we done lower light, it will be a different color and so forth. But what is the actual color of the wall? Well, the wall is made up of bricks and da-da-da. So we tried to go in for a deeper understanding, a deeper knowledge. I think inside of the Islamic school of thought, we would call that fiqh or fiqh. Or fiqh, deeper understanding. So we want to get a deeper understanding of our universe and nature by not simply looking at the apparent, but looking much deeper into a subject, not just simply looking at what we can observe with our 1, 2, 2 crow eyes, but we want to go into it. We want to test it out. We want to use an hypothesis. We want to, you know, them ways there. We really want to test things out to come to a firm, secure knowledge of something. So we have a mystery system, okay, or a mystery school, which is really an educational system that teaches you the apparent and also teaches you deeper meaning as well. And then it further goes into metaphysics or the divine principles, which we would consider to be nature. Okay, and that would be a hidden principle that not every single body around us would know. Hence why it is a mystery or something that's hidden from the apparent eyes. But only those people who are educated would start to see the world in a much more higher advanced stage. Now, inside of the definition earlier on, we talked about mystery systems or sacred mysteries. It talks about there will be rituals. There'll be rituals. Now, some people can be like, bro, like, what do you mean there's going to be rituals? Like, or what do you mean there's going to be initiations? Like,
Hey,
that usually
Kalam,
speaks. Go ahead.
All right. So one of the initiations I've come across, and maybe Brother Ty, if he's around, you can come and jump on this, from the Israelites, who they took, and the Israelites took it from the Egyptians, right, from the Kemetians, was the initiate rite of enshrouding the living, right? Enshrouding the living in linen and going through the rite of resurrection, right? Where the initiate is wrapped in linen and then reborn into the true and living, which is the community of Noahs.
Jeez, where do you get this from?
Oh, and arguably, that's the resurrection of Yeshua, that he was resurrected in this sense as opposed to another sense. But I'd like to hear what the Hebrew Israelite Brother Ty has got to say on that.
Yo, where you getting this knowledge from, bruv? Are you dropping these type of things here, bruv? Yo, Ty, where you at? Ty, are you in the comment section? Let me know. Let me send you the link.
Yeah, just to add.
No, Syria, where you get that from, though, bruv? Where you get that from? I'm looking at you side eye right now. Where you getting that from? I've got my eyes on you. I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you. I'm watching you, you know. Go on, Osita.
Yeah, Kalam, just to add on to what the guy before me said about, you know, the Hebrew Israelites initiation. You know, when he was talking about resurrection, I'm pretty sure doesn't the Freemasonry have a specific ritual that is like a resurrection, or do they use a different way to do the ritual, but it is the same ritual as a ritual of rebirth? I'm not sure if I'm right or am I saying this correctly, but there is in Freemasonry a initiation of which you go through a symbolic death and resurrection, where you go into a coffin and whatnot. But would it be using the same tenets? No, the purpose is renewal, but the way they go about these rituals or practices or rites is different between many sects. And I was just wondering, what is the link between the Hebrew Israelites' rite of resurrection and rebirth, the Freemason rebirth, and would the Christians' version of that would be the baptism?
Yeah. All of them, of course, they all, most of them won't actually say this out loud. But when you go into the sacred sites and the sacred schools of things, you realize that all of them have a stemming from the ancient Egyptian mystery. I'm going to do this mystery system, which is known as the Hermetic school or Hermes or Jehuti. So all of them are actually stemming from that school, whether they choose to acknowledge it or not. So yes, quite rightly so, Freemasonry does have a particular ritual. Once you become of a particular degree where you are, you do, how can I put it? You are caused to die and then you are resurrected again. Okay. So you have that in that teaching as well. You also have that within inside of the Christianity school, where you have, of course, the baptism, which is, of course, it's a burying. You're literally being buried with Christ, and then you're coming out and being born afresh, born anew. So it's a form of regeneration. So yes, all of these different schools have it. If you go into Islam as well, you have as my brother Ziryab mentioned, he literally was inside of a tomb or inside of a cave, which he was covered up with a particular mantle or particular clothing, and then he was unwrapped afterwards. And this unwrapping literally is a being reborn itself. Also, if you go into Ethiopian Christianity, you will find out that they actually had a practice of literally mummifying, a form of mummifying people with cloths of writing on them, They'll literally wrap them up with a cloth of writing, and there will be a particular ritual that would take place. I'm not going to say. And then you're unwrapped and you have to read this particular information. Most religious or most philosophical system have a particular rite where you come out of darkness into the light, and usually coming out of the darkness into the light, you are now told to literally read ikra something. You're told to read something, and it's the whole search. It's the whole being reborn into knowledge, literally being reborn into knowledge from darkness, where you've been just seeing all the illusions all the years of your life. That veil has now been lifted or rent asunder, and now you're able to see the sun and the light. Go ahead, King.
In the tradition, in the Kemetic tradition, were female priests allowed in? And I only ask because you mentioned about the Islamic tradition and how the Nabi, peace be upon him, was enshrouded and wrapped, and ultimately was unshrouded by his wife. So I was just wondering if that was a divergence from the Kemetic tradition, and whether or not Kemet had female priests.
Kemet had female priests of the highest order. If you only have to go into the papyrus of Ani, I'm just trying to share my screen with you right now. Okay. So in the papyrus of Ani right here, you will see, oh, that's a very poor copy. Yeah, right here, you will see her herself. You have Ani's wife. Her name is actually called Tutu or Chuchu. Okay, right here. And as you can see, she's also been transfigured into an Ahu. Okay, how do we know that she's been transfigured into an Ahu? She's now becoming like a living sun. We see the white cloth, the white clothing, and then we also see the red and orange G overlay on her and on her husband, which is Ani right here. And then you also see on his arms, you see these arm bands and so forth. These are actually marks or honors of degrees that one actually passes through, and things on her head here, which are symbolic of particular orders that she's passed through as well as her wasekh and his wasekh. And, in her hands, you see certain priestess ornaments that lets you know that she was a high priestess in the school system of Hathor. So yeah. So women definitely were a part of the priesthood and definitely held high roles and high positions and were high priestesses. Definitely. Anything else, family? Anything else? I know it's late, family. I know it's late. So anything else?
Yeah, I want to add another thing. You see this mystery school stuff. Let's take into the present day. I've always looked at science of the modern way of decoding a mystery or a mystery system. For example, when we make, I come from a background of engineering, and when we go through multiple calculations to make a discovery or find out properties of a materials, most of those information prior to those calculations is unknown. So it's a mystery to us to see if a new experimental material, an alloy or composite has a specific properties. We have to test it to find out. And the mystery or the work to find out that mystery is what will be the engineering practices. And I just want to understand, because I think a lot of people don't deep the concept of the mysteries. Again, the language is the barrier. We're trying to look into Kemet using English language, and I think the language, because of this many roots of where words come from, we don't get the real meaning. So I think to get the broader aspects of the people, the public, to actually understand what is mystery, we need to go into how can we relate it using the modern tools that we use to discover things, which are again mysteries. When we're again, I'll go back to, you know, engineering and finding new materials, or chemistry. You know, when scientists are making new discoveries for what natural compounds, synthetic or natural, are able to combat cancer. That's the mystery that we're solving. So I think we need to put into perspective so other people can understand, especially when people are coming from different doctrines and they don't deep the knowledge or deep the language of how we're trying to, I can explain the mystery. And that's the way I understood it. You know, I haven't really read that much about Kemetic stuff, but what I did from my formal education is a mystery is something that's not known. And when you go to school, you're gaining the tools to realize mysteries.
That's right,
And
my
the
brother.
deeper, yeah.
So you're 100% correct. There's nothing spooky at all. It's literally education, science, and coming to learn certain knowledge. But of course, certain knowledge are at times kept secret from the rest of the profane world. What do I mean by this? For example, in China, we had something called gunpowder. That gunpowder was utilized for something very, how can I put it? When it's something nice. What's the word for nice? Something good. Something, the word is Benny something. I can't remember the word right now, but we utilize it in a very positive, benevolent. That's it.
Yeah, benevolent.
Very
Yeah,
benevolent way. But then I'm just saying we as Chinese people now, we as a cultural ancestor, gave that information over to individuals that were less matured. Okay, less intellectually and emotionally matured. Okay, and those individuals were able to turn that particular science into gunpowder, into weapons of mass destruction, where it wasn't being utilized as weapons of mass destruction prior. So certain times information have to be kept secret within inside of the Kemetic school system, because if somebody isn't raised morally, first and foremost, if somebody isn't upon ma'at and they learn things just for the intellectual pursuit and not combining the intellectual pursuit with their moral or their heart themselves, they then can become corrupted or do corrupt things with the knowledge that they learn. So certain information were kept secret or kept hidden or kept mysterious, okay, until certain individuals have passed through a specific form of education, pass through a certain set of trials and tribulations in order to be proven or to be proved. There's a quote in the Bible, I can't remember it right now. It's too late in the morning. You know the way it's too late. Prove yourself, something like proving yourself. You have to be able to prove yourself before you can be bestowed a particular amount of knowledge. It's very dangerous. Knowledge can be very dangerous in the wrong hands.
Kalam.
So that's why we went through these strict trials and tribulations. Go ahead, King.
I remember reading somewhere that the Chinese came across gunpowder whilst they were looking for they were using alchemy to find the cure for eternal youth. And whilst they were using different herbs and chemicals, so forth, they stumbled across gunpowder and didn't think of it as use it in any way for military purposes, i.e. bombs or whatever. They used it for fireworks. And then they forgot it for several thousand years. And then it was recreated again by the Chinese around about the time of Marco Polo. And then the Europeans saw it, and then directly using this typical mentality they have, they saw the potential it had for destruction. Basically, that's what I remember reading that somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah.
Silk Road.
Yeah. Go ahead, Terry. Say again.
I'll just say the
Silk Road. Okay, cool. Yeah, there you go, man. There you go. So that's why it's crazy, man. It's crazy. That's why I said knowledge definitely has to be kept sacred, because in the wrong hands, you can do damage with it. Just look at the atomic bomb that they've created. Like just from some simple science that we had way back in the day, they came new to it and they utilized it for destructive purposes. Okay, that's why first of all you had to be trained morally. Say again.
In that vein, I think you're alluding to the knowledge of the ancient Egyptians of the atom, right? But going back to the knowledge aspect, I think an interesting concept I've come across is the twin pillars of Boaz and Jakim, right? And their symbolic nature. Yo, you're right, yeah?
Bro, yeah.
I think it's
All right,
very
cool.
interesting, bro. No, it's very interesting, isn't it? It's very interesting because, like I say again, there's the Israelite link. You know what I'm saying? In that Yeshua tried to unite the twin pillars. If we're gonna go further than the allegorical meaning and the physical meaning, but essentially, you'll see those twin pillars in most Masonic lodges, innit? And they know what it means. Obviously, they try to claim that, oh, King Solomon had it on the porch, and so on and so forth. But yeah, Boaz and Jakim, the twin pillars, very, very interesting.
Let me do this quickly then. There you go. So what my brother is talking about is this. Don't shoot the messenger in it. I'm not bringing anything new. This is just what can be found. Okay, so this is what my brother is. This is a good one. Give me 1 second. Okay, there you go. So for those people who are curious as to what my brother is talking about, this is what he's talking about right here. Okay. Oof. Oof. Nope, it's not what you're talking about, actually.
They've got it in
Where
the
is it?
Grand Lodge.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is, actually.
Yeah, over there on the left.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. This is what my brother is talking about right here. And for those of you lot who know, you know. For those who don't know, y'all don't know. All right. The two pillars, Jakin and Boaz. But yeah. Terry, you might have to break this down. You may know more than I do. Nah, silence. Nah, nobody wants to talk. Nah. Everybody, it seems as though everybody wants to heal and conceal and never reveal.
I've got a question. I don't really know what these twin pillars represent, but I something alludes to me that in Kemet, we had this the two crowns, the two uniting. Is there any type of are they resemblance? Are there any connection between those two things? The two crowns of Kemet,
Yeah,
upper and
this
lower.
brother's on it,
It's my mind is buzzing. I'm just thinking because I don't really know, because what they do is that they will compound real knowledge with minus of whatever they want to talk about related to the Bible, whatever. But I really want to know what is it representing of, and if it's reminiscent of two kingdoms coming, because what I read from the Solomon Powers, Boaz and Jackim, one was in one temple, one was another temple, but all the depictions are them together. So could it be to them become a one state? And that's what I really want to know. I wanted to pose that question to the brother that's really brought up these twin pillars to see if I'm on the right track, and if so, why would they use two pillars to present what we know as two nations becoming one, or the two crowns?
Yeah. So you see the twin crowns, you're on the right track with that, in the sense that obviously whoever held the twin crown was a ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt. It's interesting, Taharaka was one of the later kings who was able to do that, and obviously had to beef with the white folks of his time. But going back to the twin pillars thing, it's symbolic. That's what you have to remember, especially when the Masons use it, that they're using it in the sense of what these twin pillars represent. But in order to understand the twin pillars, one must understand the character that is Hiram Abiff. You feel me? Now, if you don't know Hesychilas, see, if you don't know about man like Hiram, yeah, then you need to get to know it, because he's...
And on that note,
more time.
On that note, I think we are discussing far too much on this channel. I'd rather not have my channel locked off. Thank you. I'm just I'm joking. But again, I'm pretty sure that certain individuals on this panel, I'm seeing, let me look down below. that have sworn a particular oath to always heal and conceal and never reveal, especially to the profane world and to those people who are potential eavesdroppers and uninitiated. So these types of talks shouldn't actually be occurring on air. You dig what I'm saying, family? So I'm just trying to protect y'all family out there who are part of particular orders that shouldn't be talking this good talk live.
Only means of recognitions are banned.
So boy, I heard it's also the lessons that's actually taught within inside of the rituals themselves. So I
not according to the United Grand Lodge.
Boy, I don't know, innit? You're educating me today, family. You're educating me today. You let me know as much as we can talk.
King James, Scottish and England.
I don't want to get nobody into trouble. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, family. Break it down, then, G. Break it down. Let me hear what you got to say.
Saying King James, Scotland and England, bringing them two together.
Are you listening? Are you man listening? Yeah.
Clocked it. I don't think people have just clocked what Terry just dropped. I don't think they've clocked it. I have anyway, but anyway, go on.
Okay, so family, brothers are dropping some serious heat. I think on that note, we're actually going to be closing down the show. Has anybody got a problem with that? If you don't have no problem with that, I'm going to say bye. If you have a problem with that,
but don't forget the link up.
Hold on. One second. And if you want to hear some more, just simply press 1. But I think that is the end of the show. You family members, you let me know if it's the end of the show or not. Press 1 if it's not the end of the show, or just keep remain. Press 2 if it is the end of the show. That's what I'm asking you to do, family.
Hey, Kalam, can I ask a quick?
Terry, go ahead, family. Go ahead.
This is brother, the Morris brother. So real quick, you mentioned the word earlier that intrigued me. You said mer'e, right? Talking about initiate of some sort. And you're also talking about this concept of twin pillars real quick. And since there's no Hebrew Israelites on the panel, I'm a brother who descends from the Maghrebim. I'm of North African Jewish descent. So I'll rep for the Israelites real quick. I have a question that might lead to some more on a whole nother show. So how do you spell that and whatnot? Because in Hebrew, there's a word mor'eh that means teacher and teaching, right? Which links up to the whole initiate concept, right? But it also has a dualistic meaning. It also means a hill, and it also has the connotation of being a Canaanite. And for the Hebrew brethren, I'm saying that the name Jerusalem, it also has like an esoteric kind of a concept where there's two mountains involved, right? One being Moreh, the other one being Mount Moriah, right? Now, if you're Jewish and Hebrew, you know the significance is of Mount Moriah and whatnot. However, a lot of people don't know the concept of Moreh. And when Abraham is leaving Ur of the Chaldees and he's becoming an Amorite Canaanite, at one point he actually camps in a place called the Terebinths of Moreh. The place where he could have been gathering some teachings potentially, you know what I'm saying? So just out of curiosity, I was intrigued on how you spell that one, because I also know another Kemetic word for that sounds very close to it that also has another similar meaning to another Hebrew word with the same spelling that also means like an archer or something of that nature. There's a word moreh that means like a warrior scribe and a surveyor and whatnot in Kemetic. Are they the same words or no?
In relationship to what word? What word did you hear?
Earlier you were talking about a word mer'eh and seba in the word in the concepts of initiates.
Oh, merech. No, mer is kind of like the way you get the word more from, kind of like that.
So is it just mr?
Mer means to, mr literally means to love. But if you see the actual the hieroglyph itself is actually a sickle, like cutting down something. It's a sickle. So it literally means to love. The word more, the root of it is are, which I think you said is to do with an archer, right?
In the Hebrew, the word more does. And in Kemetic, there's a word that's mhr, I believe that would be like a warrior scribe. That would be very similar to what more in the Hebrew is.
See, I would have related it because obviously more actually also corresponds to the word Torah, which is the aura, or the Torah is obviously the prefix is the T, and obviously the meaning is to have instructions, basically. And I would actually, and that's all to do with to see something. Okay, I would relate that more towards seeing and instructions. So you have the term Reya, I think it's Reya, with inside of the Hebrew school of thought, and I would relate that more to what we'll have as Ma'at or Ara, to actually see something and to have truth and to have knowledge and to have information, rather than the term Mer or Mr. It's two different words, to be honest with you. Those ones are two different words.
Okay, secondary question, and then my last one. So I know Seba also means like a teacher, right? So does the Mere or more Mr also mean teacher anywhere else? Or does it just mean describing with love, etc.?
Yeah, nah, it just means that still. I'll double check, but nah, it just means that.
No worries. Appreciate that, King.
No problem. Let me just quickly double check though, as we're here. Family, keep on the conversation, because I think we've got my brother coming on. Sorry, my apologies, I'm doing two things at once. You know, as a man, you can't do two things at once. I've got my brother Ty coming on real soon. Yeah, no, we only have a few words for it, and none of them is to have the MR root. Unless you want to say Mer as being an overseer. But other than that, no connection other than that.
MHR root?
Sorry?
Are you familiar with the MHR root, the one that I'm talking about? Like, so in the Strong's Concordance, there's a word more, it's transliterated MOWREH, but in English it's MOREH, right? But it's Strong's 4175 and 4176. It's a similar. And in the Kemetic, I believe I have a dictionary where it's MHR, and those two words seem to go real hand in hand. But in the Hebrew, it has the concept of teaching or a teacher, right? Which is real intriguing. When that's why I asked about it, right? Because that one word seems like have a dual meaning in both languages. You know what I'm saying? Like you were just talking about, there's a word for like a warrior, or what would be an archer would be, that's in Kemetic. That's very similar. Like in Hebrew it's MRH, but in Kemetic it's MHR. You feel what I'm saying? But that warrior also has the concept of being a scribe and a surveyor. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So does that scribe concept ever correlate with teaching or a teacher?
A scribe, yeah, definitely would correlate with obviously teaching and teacher. But I wonder what exactly its root word. So we have the term ma and then hari. Let me just quickly do this for you real quickly. I don't think they are connected, but they might be. You never know. Let me just quickly do what you're saying. So right here, you got the word here for soldier scribe. Right here. Correct? Do you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Right at the top.
Where'd I go?
You see it?
Hold on, I lost my screen real quick.
Yeah. And then it also has, and then it also has some form of meaning to do with, where else is it? Okay. Yeah, there it is. You know what? It seems as though that there's soldier scribe. There's also a reconnaissance officer right here. Okay. And yeah, soldier scribe and reconnaissance officer. Yeah. So I don't know the actual root of this word. It's a very tricky word here. It's a title of something. But it seems as though it's made up of two words. Okay, as we see here, this is the first word right here. If you see it, this is an owl. Okay, and then you have the ein principle, or the hand principle right here. So that literally is ma. You pronounce it ma or mer, which literally is like an overseer. Yeah. So you're literally being over something, and then you're literally being underneath something at the same time. So you have the word here, which is HR, and Yod, which is Mary, or I'm sorry, Heri. Okay. And then you have something called the Heri Heb, which is another type of priest. So it's like being underneath something. So this one here is kind of denoting to be an observer or seeing something. And then this one under here seems to be underneath something. So I don't particularly know if it is actually connected, because it seems as though that there is a lot going on. There's like two words that's being conjoined together.
Yeah, and there's like
You see
4
what I'm
versions
saying
of
right
that.
here.
How would you pronounce
Yeah.
that?
So that's a very good question. I think most of these words, we don't actually fully well comprehend how the ancient Egyptians used to actually pronounce it. The reason being, we don't know how they pronounce it. We don't actually have ancient Egyptians today to actually articulate or announce these words. So we don't know 100%, but we do have things such as reconstructions. And unfortunately, I can't do a reconstruction on this word. And the reason being, I can't do a reconstruction on this word. We usually need to go into linguistics and then do a historical, utilize the historical comparative method by going into other languages like the Akkadian, going into like Niger Congo languages and other languages and so forth, to see if this is a cognate word and see how the Copts actually pronounce this word as well. So we could do a reconstruction. But if we were just to simply do a reconstruction based upon the transliteration or based upon the hieroglyphs that's present, we see here it will be pronounced ma'a or ma, and then this word here would be pronounced as hari. Hari. So ma hari. Ma'ah hari.
Thank you much, brother man.
Yeah, no problem, King. Do-do-do. So family tree. What we saying?
UK
What we
USA
jumping
link
into?
up.
Yeah, drop it then, family. Drop it. Share your screen if you can and just drop it.
I can't share my screen at the moment.
All right, let me do it then. So, family, please go check this out. Right now, we have got Terry. Break it down, man. Break it down.
Yeah, all it is.
We'll make your leaps and bounds.
All it is that we're asking for people to donate so that we can get to have 20 to 30 people strong from the UK. So we're asking for people for donations to put towards our effect of taking our media, our people, and people of representatives of each group to go to the Sinetta Awards in June, as well as reducing the prices of people coming along with us. So you don't have to be a part of a group. You could just come on yourself, but we're trying to reduce the prices. So we're trying to raise money to the GoFundMe. So we need your help as much as possible so that we can actually make this a legacy, as well as Mr. Kalam will be nominated on that day.
Oh, man. Chase. Yeah, family tree. So you already know we're trying to get out there to the US. I see you, my brother Uhuru. We're going to get it in. We're going to go to the US. We're going to be celebrating. We should be. I'm going to say you should be winning an award. I'm just thinking who else can win an award but Titans TV, baby, but brother Gabs, baby, but brother Sarah, baby, but brother Callum L, baby, but brother Terry, baby. Everybody who's been here actually supporting Titans TV and making Titans TV. Yeah, we shall be receiving an award. And of course, my audience, baby, my audience, yeah, is you. That's fundamental for us actually being nominated. So shout outs to you guys. So if you can, please go over to the fundraiser. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. Snap. Go over to the fundraiser, the GoFundMe, and donate. Okay, donate. Let me just do a quick shout out to everybody who has actually donated so far, such as Tony Mason, Adam Bonsu, Glenda Jones, John Robinson, Jennifer Davis. Thank you for actually supporting the Sarnetta TV Awards and the power moves that were taking place in 2018. Black Eyes TV and HKTH are making moves with Titans TV. Let's get it in. Also, family members, let me just read some of your comments. If you got some comments right now, let me get some of your comments actually read out. Yeah, let me get some of your comments read out. And if you want to, oopsies, Whoopsies. Okay, I can't actually make it wider. I'm trying to, never mind. There we go. So yeah, there you go. And if you also want to support over here as well, you can always hit the super chat button and donate to Titans TV to continue making these shows happen. But if you want to donate towards us going over to America, or it's right over here, donate over there. So let's quickly see what everybody's saying. I'll put money in Sarah's pocket before Sarnetta. Okay, shouts to you then. Hekenete says yes. America learning from you. Keep teaching, learning every day. Shouts out to Farouk Abdul Rahman over in there. Do you think Freemasons are evil? So yeah.
And then you know what is the Freemasons? They just have to ask themselves about City and Guilds. Let them do the research on City and Guilds and find out what it's about. Because the education system that they're going through is what's teaching them.
Jeez. I love that. Harry Singh just said, Kalam's channel's 2-pack spirit. Love that. Love that right there. So yeah, family. Uhuru, did you have something to say, family?
Yeah, great show on the mysteries. I just wanted to drop a little tale from the mysteries about after the Persian and the Greek invasion to Egypt. It opened up the possibility for a lot of philosophers to study in Kemet. So as Kalam well knows, Thales, who predicted the Thales eclipse, was actually trained in Kemet. You had Plato, who was trained in the mysteries. And also you mentioned Solon, who actually found out the tale of Atlantis through an Egyptian priest. So maybe that's a basis for a next show, but I just wanted to add that.
Yep. I've been, a few years ago, I was going to do a show on the famous land of Atlantis and kind of break that down. But another time. Yo, Zuriab, is there anything else that you wanted to actually add before we close it down?
No, man, no.
You sure? I'll even allow some deep science to be dropped. So go on. No? You cool?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed.
All right, let's get it. All right, cool. So today, right now with this whole mystery system thing, we went through a lot still. The brothers, wanted to pull out some real good stuff, information. We talked about real quickly, for my Freemasons out there, from my Freemason brothers, man. I want to get you onto the show again, I want some more Freemasons onto the show, please. Like, we've had a few Freemasons from America come onto the show. We've had a Freemason from the UK come onto the show. All black brothers as well. Okay, I don't mind if you're European, Asian, Chinese, whatever the case you are. Yeah, like, come on and discuss Freemasonry with us. You definitely be welcomed. Okay, and those of you who are Freemasons that's just hiding in the corners, bruv, like, come out, man. Nobody ain't gonna say nothing to you. I think our audience members are pretty much open-minded. That they want to learn the mysteries. They want to learn about Jachin and Boaz. They want to learn about the twin pillars. They want to learn about the celestial globe. They want to learn about the terrestrial globe. All right, the celestial globe and the terrestrial globe. They want to learn about the upper and the lower hemisphere. They want to learn about the G on top of the on top of the lodge floor. They want to learn about the winding staircase. They want to learn about the checkered floor. They want to learn about all of these things here. They want to learn about the Temple of Solomon. They want to learn about the grand architect of the universe, family. Okay, I'm sure that you can educate the family members in these basic things. I'm sure you can educate them on the all-seeing eye. I'm sure you could educate them upon the the sun and the moon and the 7 stars. I'm sure you could help them learn about the ladder, i.e. Jacob's ladder, and the 7 liberal arts. I'm sure you can help them learn about the plumb line and the sugar, the plumb line and the, help me out, somebody, the plumb line and the what? Never mind. And I'm sure you can help them about with the set square and the compass and the tracing board and the circle and the dots and the volume of the sacred law and all sorts. Yeah, I'm sure you can help them learn about the perfect ashlar and the rough ashlar and the the what's it called again? The one thing that you hit something down, the gavel, and all them things there. So please, yeah, come in, man, come in and teach our brothers about these sacred lessons that you yourself has got. You know, help them about to learn about the never eat shredded wheats. When I'm talking about never eat shredded wheats, I'm talking about the north, the east, the south, and the west. I'm talking about, you know, what we know in Kemet as being the Nesu symbol, the N, the E, the S, the W, the Nesu. Teach them, man. Help them
Hey,
to
yo,
become
Gigi.
Nesuits again. Let's get it in, family. Yeah.
Yo, I was just gonna ask you about the Sumerians, right? And for you Kemetians, do you accept that the first people who built Kemet were from Sumer and had techniques and traditions and knowledge that came from Sumer?
Do you want a quick answer? No. It doesn't make sense.
No.
For example, people keep on. I think what's the name? Brother Jabari mentioned this a lot. People keep on looking at Kemet. I think Kalam even has shown that Kemet is not the initial civilization of the ancient African peoples, but the forefront or the last frontier. When we go deeper into Kemet or going down to Nubia or Punt, then we see the origins. Now, the culture could have been developed with those people, and then we migrate up to that knowledge. But maybe because of environment, you know, papyrus is usually is a type of palm type of tree that grows in, you know, in desert areas or dry areas, not so much in the interior. We didn't have that much writing material or able to create writing material like paper. So certain things couldn't have been done. But I've always said that Africans traditionally didn't write books. We will make a mural, or we'll make like a vase. In that vase, there'll be a message or a story about an occurrence that happened in the past. You only have to look at, you know, the bronzes in West Central Africa, that all of them have a meaning, all of them have stories. Maybe that's the way we was writing down our history in those type of things. And obviously, if you write murals on buildings and buildings fall down or pottery gets broken, then those stories or quote unquote writings are not going to be there. Then people will start thinking, oh yeah, Sumer is the first one, and then just keep aligning themselves to Kemet without actually understanding that there was civilizations before Kemet. Pre-dynastic era proves that. You know, that's what I wanted to say.
I'm just making the point that.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I'm explaining.
Could it be that the earliest Egyptians, the earliest Kemetians, were influenced or guided even by the city builders of Sumer?
Not even, and that's why I gave you the backstory of when you go to the earliest civilization. See, we keep on saying Kemet, but we need to go before there was a nation called Kemet. For example, certain countries today have only been a country for 105 years. Are we going to say that there was no one living there before that place was called a country, or the nation was now become a country? Italy wasn't called Italy 200 years ago. So are you going to say that, oh, Italy became a country and people decided making things, but the Italian people or people who will become Italian people were there? I'm saying to you that people from interior of Africa have this knowledge, and then when we was able to present it due to our environment, things like writing, certain structures that can last for a long time using stone masonry lasted. So people, that's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying to you, you have to look at it from a different perspective. If you keep on saying Kemet and just hold it on Kemet, then you can use that argument. But everyone who knows or studies African history knows that Kemet is just one stage, you know, and you need to go back. That's why I'd say emphatically no. Sumer did influence.
The original people of Samaria were the Anu people who emigrated from.
They were called Sargika or Saigiki, or they weren't called Anu. Where did you get Anu from? Is that an indigenous word?
Anu.
Is it an indigenous? I'm asking you. Is that an indigenous word to the people who called them? Did they call themselves the Anu, or did they call themselves the Sargiki?
That I can't tell you. That I can't tell you if it's an
I know. Okay,
word.
from okay. Let me tell you this. From the many presentations that have been on Titans TV, I think you should go and look at them. It's been said before that the original people who actually settled in what we are calling the Mesopotamia, all that area of Sumer, they said that some of them are flock of people who didn't come from, you know, Horn of Africa, Kemet sides. But like I said, we're talking pre-dynastic, and we're talking times.
I'm talking
when you're
pre-dynastic also. I'm talking about
I
when
know,
Kemet was a marshland.
what you're saying, I hear you,
brother.
Bob, I hear you, but you're also making the sense saying Sumer influenced Kemet. When you're saying influence, you're not saying that, but you're making an argument. You're making an argument to insinuate that there could be a possibility. Now, what possibility?
No,
what influence are we talking about?
The wrong one, the wrong person.
Never let me finish. You never let me finish. I said, from what my understanding is, the original people of that region, what we call Mesopotamia, Samaria today, were a people called the Anu who were indigenous to the region of what we call Kemet today, before it was called Kemet, when it was a marshland. And from what I understand, they were
listen, see,
people.
I hear what you're coming from, but you're mixing different timings. When we're saying when Kemet was a marshland, understandably, that was a very, very long time ago. You know, I don't think, and again, according to Brother Jabari has stated this in his own channel or Sarnetta's channel, where at the time, where people are calling these places, people weren't really settling there like that. So when I hear what you're saying, that the first people, no one's debating, and the first people come from the stock of what we call pre-dynastic peoples. But what you said in the beginning, you said something about influence, my brother. So I'm trying to go to where there can never be no influence.
No, it was another guy that said it.
Hold on, 1 second.
That's what I'm addressing.
There's a bit of confusion.
I'm trying to close down the show. So 1 second, really quickly. We can continue this off air. Yo, my brother, Bigger, it seems as though you unmuted your mic. You wanted to say something. I would hate for we to go off air without you saying what you needed to say. Go ahead, King.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up everyone on the panel. Some good knowledge tonight still. Big up the listeners and all that. Yeah, I was just wanted to say that if you, man, want to see a G circle in New York, you man want to see us out there with man them? Yeah, holler at Terry's GoFundMe thing. You get me? Yeah, man. That was it, fam.
Bang. Sweet right there. So family, you know, we went in today. We've gone through a lot of information. I'm sure that we've hit the third hour mark, but this third hour mark is really going to be 1 hour and a bit mark, because we've split the show into 2 shows. So if you haven't seen the first half of the show, please go back. Okay. It would be entitled "Is Kemet the Black Man's Religion and Pan-Africanism?" Hopefully this particular show may be entitled The Mystery System, and might be entitled Zeriap. You never know. So yeah, brothers, I'm going to close out this show, but we're going to continue the conversation off air. If you would like to get in, I'm going to send the link right now live on air to you guys. Hopefully you should be able to click it when we come off air or right now, and you will be able to join us. But right now I'm signing out. So love, peace, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Oh man. Young Cali, baby.